Hello, hello, hello. It's Kyle Shannon with the AI Learning Lab. Hello, Emilio's wife. What's happening? Welcome, everybody. It's a fine Sunday here in Denver. We're about to get some crazy-ass storm. It's supposed to rain between 1 and 3 inches with possible hail. Yay! Yes. Waiting on class. Yeah, exactly. This is the AI Learning Lab. Welcome. We'll wait for some people to come in. My name's Kyle Shannon. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a dude that's just very into generative AI and will answer any questions I can. That's what this channel's all about. I've also got the AI Salon. I've got a newsletter called Everyday AI. So looking at all of what this stuff makes possible. And I'm putting away a screwdriver. Because I always forget to put away screwdrivers. Then I'm always like, where the hell's my screwdriver? All right, done. Look at that. Like a professional. Welcome. This is the AI Learning Lab. If you have questions about AI, pop them into the, what's it called? Comments. Just getting up to speed. I mowed today. We have raised garden beds. I covered them with cloth. I haven't done much with AI today, so I figured I'd hop on here and talk about it rather than doing something. All right, what did you say here? I'm excited. I'm going to help my husband write his life story. Yeah, with AI, of course. That's great. I mean, yeah, that's the kind of thing, like you could even have it, help you outline it, or even just have it come up with the questions for him to answer and then have it organize all the answers. That's really cool. It's a great idea. How do I profit from AI? Do not listen to people that say, you can make money with ChatGPT. Don't listen to them. Here's the deal with AI. It's a tool. It happens to be a really powerful tool, and there's a lot of them. So a couple of things. The first step in profiting with AI is start learning it. So if you haven't actively been using ChatGPT, that's what that top URL is. I'm not associated with them. Go to that top URL. That's the official ChatGPT website. Start playing with it. As I babble on here on a Sunday afternoon, go play there. The next one down is Bing.com, which is also ChatGPT. If you click on the chat button, that's GPT-4 connected to the internet for free, right? So if you're like, I can't pay for this, go to Bing. In my opinion, not as strong as the OpenAI's ChatGPT, even though it's the same core underlying technology. They have it a bit hobbled. And then Poe.com lets you play with a bunch of different models. Prompts.chat will teach you about prompting. And then Futurepedia.io is a big directory of just like as many AI tools as you can imagine. There's probably thousands at this point. I haven't even been recently. But if you want to geek out, you can go there. But I think step one is start learning ChatGPT. Start learning what these things make possible. If you have questions about AI, pop them into the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Fair warning, I cuss. I make stupid jokes. I act like silly characters. I get accused of looking like famous or semi-famous people on a pretty regular basis. Rosie O'Donnell's my favorite, but Fat Alec Baldwin's not bad. All right, let's see. Let me go see some questions here. How do I profit? Oh, the other thing about profiting with AI, learn what these tools can do and then take what you're good at and come up with a solution to a problem you think people would be willing to pay for. That's business. That's how you make money, right? That problem could be you want to make people smile and you start a t-shirt business. That business could be a consulting business. That business could be helping people come up with marketing plans. So take something that is in line with who you are and what you're good at, learn these AI tools and how they can amplify what you're good at, and then come up with something that you can put out to the world and get people to pay for. A good way to start that is to give away those services for free. So if you come up with, I don't know, whatever it is, I'm going to help people write a marketing plan based on the hero's journey. I don't know. There's one. That'd be one ChatGPT would be good with. Offer it to 3 business owners that you know for free to just do it. to actually put it in the world and get feedback, because you can think about this shit all you want, but when you put it in the world, things change. And then from there, you can figure out, then you can figure out, how you could really turn that into a business. Yeah, I got out of the house today, and I wouldn't call mowing really getting out of the house, but what are some applications in AI in cybersecurity? Well, I think there's just cybersecurity, and then there's going to be the bad actors have access to really powerful tools, and then the good actors have access to really powerful tools. So I feel that cybersecurity is just going to be an escalated continuation of the battle between the black hats and the white hats. Again, these things are just tools. There's nothing. There's nothing. Well, the generative AI stuff put into regular non-technical people's hands more power than we've ever had in the history of humanity. So it's different in that sense. But these things are not necessarily doing things on their own. They're more like a co-pilot, that's the branding that Microsoft uses. This is a co-pilot. You're the pilot. These tools are a co-pilot. Think of them like that, and then figure out what do you want to do. So if you're good at cybersecurity, I would dig deep in, start hanging out on Reddit and figuring out how hackers are, using these generative tools to attempt to infiltrate systems. Get good at understanding that, and then come up with countermeasures. I think that there's going to be a huge need for that kind of support in the cybersecurity arena. As to what specific tools, I don't know that world at all. So go to futurepedia.io. There might be some tools listed there that are specific. But really, go hang out on Reddit and troll GitHub and Hugging Face and see what the hackers are doing, because I'm sure they're having fun right now because these tools are insane. Is AIMA a good textbook? I don't know it. I've heard it's good, but I don't know. Thanks for telling me that you curse. You'll be leaving now. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Does it have a good MDP examples? I don't know what that means. Let me go look. Let's go to ChatGPT and see what MDP, what is, wait, why is that not typing? What is Markov decision process? It's a decision maker interacts with an environment in discrete time steps. Components of MDP are as follows: states, actions, transition. I don't know anything about this, but it obviously knows what it is. And I'm just using GPT 3.5, so I'm not even using 4. And then, I don't know, let's say, can you give me some examples? Certainly. Autonomous driving, inventory management, healthcare treatment, energy management. These are some examples. Can you give me some less obvious ones? Website optimization, resource. So yeah. And so what I would say, if you haven't played with ChatGPT, it's kind of hard to explain like how insanely different it is. So we've been trained for the past 2 decades or so from Google that you type in a really sparse prompt and then you get back lots of answers and you have to go dig through it. This is much more like having a conversation with a really smart intern. And it'll even do things like this. Like I say, give me a table comparing the different use cases and which will benefit the most from this approach. I don't even know if that's an appropriate statement, but it will go on ahead and just write you a table and format it. So high benefit, moderate benefit, high benefit. So it's doing some analysis of, these different things within that framework. So again, what I would say is, if you haven't played with these tools, the reason I put these things on screen while I'm babbling is, those are the places you should go. Just go start playing, go start digging in. So I hope that helped. If you've got questions about generative AI, pop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I'll show examples if I can. I'll wax poetic about the future of AI. I tend to be a tech optimist. I was accused once on a panel. So a woman who's been in AI for 15 years said, let me interrupt the adorable optimism here. So I've been accused of being adorably optimistic. So that's the case. I think it's, I find the doomsday future, focusing too much on that, I just find it boring. I think it's like, that's what Hollywood's trained us to think. So what if it were the opposite? What if rather than killing us, it made us all better? That's the future I'm trying to explore. When you used 11 labs to clone your voice, how much data did you upload? A 30-minute MP3 file enough? I had ChatGPT write me a script, and I told it I was doing it for voice for synthesizing my voice. So I said, use as many whatever's appropriate to train that, and then it wrote one, and then I had it write a second one and just make it different, and then I read both of them. I think the total file that I uploaded was 5 minutes. It wasn't 30. But you can put in, I think they said you can put in up to 60 or something like that. I don't know if there's a point of diminishing returns, but 5 seemed to get it. It didn't seem to capture any sort of cadence, or anything like that. So yeah, Markov decision process. It can be used to build AI tools and stuff. Cool. Wait, was that? Never mind. I'm asking technically questions about AI. Yeah, so just a little bit about who I am. I am not a machine learning and AI guy. I'm an entrepreneur, so I've started 12 or 15 companies over the years. I was there when the World Wide Web first came onto the scene in the mid-90s. I was living in New York City. I started one of the first online magazines. I started one of the first digital agencies. So the parallels to what's going on with generative AI right now and what was happening with the World Wide Web back then are really, really uncanny. And so I'm sort of coming at this as probably a representative of the inflection point that we're in. Thunder's coming. See if it's really loud. No. Where for the past few decades, machine learning and AI and neural networks have been the purview of data scientists and researchers and things like that. ChatGPT marks this inflection point of, real people using these tools. And so I'm coming at this as an entrepreneur saying, hey, there's these remarkable tools here. Let's take off. So anyway, all right. Good thing I'm learning about technical stuff behind AI. I'm going to take all your jobs. Yeah, it's, what's Paul Reitzer say? AI is not going to take your job, but somebody using AI will. I mean, having a clue about AI at any level of the sport right now is probably a good thing. The next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be a large hunger for people that have a clue. So, but thank you for the question. If you have other questions about AI, pop them into the thing. If you've tried it, share your experiences. I'm happy to talk about that. If you haven't used ChatGPT, I'll show you a couple of things here. There's some new things that they've given people access to in the past 2 or 3 weeks. One of them is GPT connected to the intervals. Is that, sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus. Focus. Come on, camera. Well, that's as good as it's going to get. Regular ChatGPT, the base model only has data up to September of 2021. By connecting it to the internet with this second option here, you can see more modern things. And then it's also got this thing called plugins. And plugins are, I think it's up to it was up to 400 as of last night. Plugins are just what they sound like. They're little like application helpers that you can use to augment ChatGPT. So if you want to plan a trip, there's 97 pages of 4 plugins each. So there's a lot of them to go through. Let's see what some new ones are. Clinic manages your Clink account. Go find deep memory. Don't know that. Pro app paraphraser. Say it better, say it different. Paraphrase like a pro. Paraphrase for impact and inspire. That's really poor English. So no, I'm not going to use paraphraser. Get your description of your plugin in decent grammar first, and then I might use a tool that actually purports to improve my my language. Amazing talker. Elevate your language learning to any level with personalized one-on-one lessons. A lot of these plugins are just weird. So I think what a lot of the plugins are is people are just sort of pointing them to their website, and then you can have ChatGPT go look at their specific website and pull some shit in. But a lot of these things, what they're saying that the plugin does, ChatGPT already does really well. Like if you want ChatGPT to paraphrase something, you just tell it to paraphrase something. Tell it to paraphrase it like William Shakespeare would, and you don't need a separate tool for that. Here's one will find you apartments, shop best word counter. Yeah, a lot of these plugins are just trash. Trash. All right. What are a few must-have plugins? So let's see. Let me see what I've got installed. So I've got Ask Your PDF. I use that a decent amount. So Ask Your PDF. I've used it more than Chat with PDF, probably just because it began with an A, and the other one began with a C. So I used it first, and it worked. Brand Fetch is really interesting. I'll show you Brand Fetch. Let's go play with that one. That one's kind of cool. So the way plugins works, once you have them enabled, you go to the plugin store where you don't actually buy anything, you just install them. Once they're installed, then in any given chat session, you can activate up to 3. So like right now, I've got 3 travel ones activated. So I'm going to turn those off. And then I'm going to go find that brand one, Brand Fetch. And what Brand Fetch does, so I can say, get me the brand, get me the logos, colors, and any brand guidance for Apple. And it should fire off that plugin. It did. And then icon, logo, dark theme, light theme, their colors, their fonts, images, there's a banner. And then I don't know what these little previews are. They're not previewing anything. So let's go see. So sometimes these plugins will just return hyperlinks that are broken. But let's go see if this actually gives us an Apple icon. I don't see anything. So this could be a bust. Is it still loading? Oh, it might be my Wi-Fi is trash. Thanks, Xfinity. You're the best. Doesn't seem to be loading the pages. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Wait, loading? Is there anything there? Nope. All right. Anyway, I used that one the other day, and I did it with my own company and it worked pretty good, but it doesn't seem to be working for Apple. Banner. Is there anything there? iPhone 14. Hello, yellow. So it grabbed a banner. Anyway, like that's cool in concept. The thing about the plugins right now is the plugin architecture itself is very, very simple. They're very easy to develop. I don't think they're really vetting them a lot. I don't think a lot of people are using them. So the other thing about plugins, if you're new to ChatGPT, in order to get access to plugins, you have to be using ChatGPT Plus, so that little yellow banner there, which $20 a month. And then you have to enable the beta features. So if I go to my name and I go to settings, I go to beta features, and then there's browse with Bing and plugins. You have to turn them on. And the thing about the plugins right now is they're a little janky. So the question was, what are some must-haves? So brand fetch isn't one of them, although I think it's good. Ask Your PDF is really good. There's chat with video. There's a bunch of them that you can point to a YouTube video and you can, interact with basically with the transcription of it. Diagram will draw some things. That's pretty good. Some of the travel ones are good. Kayak, Get Your Guide. Instacart, you can get groceries delivered. So if you have like Instacart and OpenTable installed, you could say, book me reservations at a restaurant on Saturday. Give me a recipe for, beef stew on Sunday, and order the ingredients from Instacart, and it'll go do that. Link reader's good, so you can put in a specific URL or a series of them, and it will go read those pages, and then you can interact with that stuff. Prompt Perfect is kind of fun. Let me show you this one. So I just enabled it. If you type the word perfect before your prompt, perfect, and then I type in, let's say, give me some advice for how to protect my garden from hail, since it's about to hail here. And then because I type perfect in front of it, it fires it off to prompt perfect. And if you open up the plugin, so it basically sent my, crappy prompt, and it says, can you provide me with detailed recommendations on the most effective methods to safeguard my garden from hail damage? So it kind of rewrites it and improves it. Usually it rewrites it better than that, but I guess my prompt wasn't bad. But that's an interesting one. What other ones are interesting? Show Me is another diagramming thing. Video Insights, Vox Script, Web Pilot. Wolfram Alpha is good. You can go off and do mathematical operations. I don't know enough about math to even know what the hell to do there, but that's a pretty cool one. And then X Papers, that'll take you to research papers, and you can go find the latest research papers. And then Zapier, it will help you create automations automatically. So hope that helps. Let's see. Oh, there's a few new people here. So if you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm here to talk about generative AI. I'm an entrepreneur and a thirsty person. Hold on. If you have questions, just pop them in. I'll do my best to answer them. These URLs here, the top one is the official ChatGPT website. If you've not played with ChatGPT, go do it now. Like, even if you don't sit here and listen to me babble on about this shit, go start playing with it. This stuff is coming faster than I think any of us are prepared for. And then Bing.com and Po.com are other options to use ChatGPT things. Do something fun, like have it write you a song, or write a poem for your pet. All right, let me go back and find some questions here. How do we enable and install plugins? I just showed that, so hopefully that covered that. Is Po like a master dashboard to manage all of your subscriptions in one place? Kinda. So let's go look at quite know why they're doing it the way they're doing it. So, all right. So here's all the stuff. On the right hand side is just like a normal. Hang on. Like a normal ChatGPT window, like, write me a poem about the rain. Bang, and it will go write me a poem about the rain. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you have all these different models. So you've got Sage, which is Poe's model. Then you have 3 that are there that you have to pay for if you want access to them. And I do pay for them. You see that they say subscribed because of the fourth one down. So GPT-4 is GPT-4. Claude Plus is Anthropic's version of GPT-4. And then Claude Instant 100K is like GPT 3.5, but it's got 100,000 token context window. So if you're completely new to this, that'll mean absolutely fucking nothing. Normal GPT's got a 4,000 token context window is what it's called. It basically means you can put in up to about 3,000 words into your prompt. Your prompt and the response can only be about 3,000 words, or it chokes. It can't do it. Which sounds like a lot, but let's say you want to take a really long document and you want to paste it in there as part of your prompt and say, help me organize this thing, or whatever it might be. 3,000 words gets eaten up pretty quick. So with a 100,000 token model, you can paste in up to 75,000 words in your prompt. Yesterday, I pasted in the entire script of The Godfather and had it tell me about all the characters and what happened to them, and it was just like bang. So that's what that is. Claude Instant is like GPT 3.5. ChatGPT is GPT 3.5. And then the things you have below here are bots. And what the bots are like little sort of pre-written prompts, for lack of a better term. So these top 2, MJ Captain, someone that was on the live last night, created this one. And there's another. Both of these are Mid-Journey prompt writers. So you put in a little bit about what image you want created, and they'll expand your prompt. Then I have I Am Yoda here. I've got a Shakespeare one. There's a bunch that I created. And then you can create your own bot. So the create a bot thing is actually really easy. You just name it. You give it a description. You write a prompt. So I'll go show you one of mine. Let's go look at Yoda. So there's Yoda. And then if I go here and say edit bot. So I had ChatGPT help me write a description and write it in Yoda speak. And then the prompt is, you are Yoda, the renowned Jedi Master from the Star Wars universe. Engage with users by imparting your wisdom of the Force and leadership, right? So I basically describe what the bot should do, what it should not do, and basically how it should behave when people interact with it. So if you want to play with it, go to po.com/IamYoda, and you can play with it. So I can say... why is it raining? ? Let's see what he does. Young one, mind the weather, you must not. Control the rain, control the rain, only control ourselves we can. Unpredictable, nature often is. Right? So anyway, so that's what Poe is. Poe's just, like why they're doing this from a business perspective, I don't know. But as an end user, it's kind of cool to be able to use all these different models and see what they are. How do you enable a plugin? I think I showed that before. So if you're in ChatGPT, once you have them installed from the plugin store, then you have this big long list, and you just sort of check the checkbox. So I could do, like, let's see, experiences, get your guide, and trip.com. And so those are 3 travel-related ones. So when you enable the plugins, the combination of them kind of makes this customized little application that you can play with. All right, we're back here. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, looks like there's a bunch of new people here. Hello, my name's Kyle Shannon. I have schmutz on my shirt. What is that? It's schmutz. What's schmutz? I don't know. What did he tell you? What is schmutz? What is schmutz? You got a little schmutz here. You got a little thing on your lip. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm an entrepreneur who is obsessed with generative AI right now. I think we all should be, to some degree or other. At a minimum, curious. So if you have not played with any of these tools at all, that's what these URLs are there for. The bottom ones are things that'll teach you how to prompt and things that'll let you find new tools. But the top three are basically ChatGPT, different flavors of ChatGPT. Just go start with the official ChatGPT. That's the top one. Start playing while you listen to me babble. Follow along. Remember, there is no wagering. Well, you can wager. I don't really give a shit. You can bet. All right. If you have questions about generative AI, pop it into the comments. That's why I'm here. I'm here to answer questions. I don't have the Browse with Bing plugin. Okay. If you pay for ChatGPT Plus and you don't see them, here's why. So, ChatGPT Plus, if you have that little yellow thing, that you're paying $20 for that little piece of graphic. If you don't see Browse with Bing and the plugins, go to your settings. And then in your settings, the second option here is beta features. And you have to enable them. You have to turn them on. Not quite sure why they're doing that right now. I assume they're doing it to kind of limit the amount of people that use them, but it's really confusing. And then they should show up. All right. The brains behind the Antichrist. Okay, please no religion in here. Things are complicated enough. How do you create an app with GPT? Well, it depends on how you're defining an app. You can use some no-code tools. There's one called Bubble. I use an automation tool. Here comes the thunder. I use an automation tool called Zapier, which allows you to, like I've created a bunch of content generation tools where I'll create a Google form, and when people fill in that form, I take that data, put it into a prompt within Zapier, send it to OpenAI, get back some cool result, and then put that in an email and email them some social media content. So that's how I've made some apps. You can also, if you want to learn coding, you can go, start hanging out on GitHub and finding tools that you can program with, and use GitHub Copilot to help you code, and have ChatGPT teach you to code and actually do the coding for you. If you haven't played with it before, it really is kind of mind blowing. So I'm going to go to just regular GPT-4 here. Regular GPT-4, not connected to the internet or anything. And I'm just going to say, write me a Python application that generates random prime numbers, and plots them on an XY axis. I don't know why you do that, but you ask it to do its thing. Sure, you can use the matplot library to plot the generated prime numbers and random to generate them. So I don't know, it's being a little slow right now, but it's writing the code. It's importing the library, define it as prime. It's picking a random one, and then it's writing a plot. These large language models are incredibly capable of doing things like helping you write an app. But I would, if you don't have coding experience, rather than thinking about what app you want to create, I would think about, start with what problem do you want to solve, right? What are you trying to do? Start with that, and then you can figure out, do I need an app, or do I just need an automation, or can I just do that right within ChatGPT? Because it might be possible you don't actually need to create an app. Like, for example, if you wanted to create an app that took an input and turned it into a better Mid-Journey prompt, you could just create a bot on Poe and create a bot and share that with people. If you want to create an app to sell on the App Store and make money that way, that's a whole different conversation. So start with your goal and target audience and business problem that you're solving. Worry less about AI and more about the problem you're solving, and then figure out which AI tool do you need to use or build to go do that. That would be my advice there. Hello, sir. Cult of personality. I got a question for you. Ask away. Thank you, Kavruno, for giving me that. Yes, love this. Okay, for a client. Oh wait, sorry. TikTok. It just jumped me somewhere. Okay, wait. For a client, I have to write blog posts, so I would use ChatGPT for searching for sources, but I don't know what the but is. I assume you're saying, but it's not connected to the internet. So what I would do is I would use ChatGPT that is check your sources. So the thing about ChatGPT and all these large language models, they don't actually know what they're typing. What they type makes it look like they are conscious and know what they're doing. It's just a prediction model. So it's not actually aware of what it wrote. So it will confidently write you a citation that are very often just false. So if you say browse with Bing, you could say, find me a news story on AI and cybersecurity. Spelled wrong. You can also spell things very wrong. It doesn't care, which makes me very happy. A news story on AI and cybersecurity. Write me. Oh wait. Comma. Write me a 500-word blog post and provide the citation for your sources. Let's see if it does it. I haven't actually tried this with the internet connected version of this. So this should go out and get us a news item. Let me see if I can get it to focus so you can see it a little better. Yeah. We've had these cameras in our phones for like a couple of decades. Do you think we could get them to focus on a computer screen? No? Anyone? Anyone from Apple? Anyone? Bueller? So what did it do? It went off and it searched Forbes, generative AI, cybersecurity friend or foe, read the content, wrote the blog, and then we'll see if it drops the focus. God damn it. GPT-4 is a little slow today. I've noticed in the past 2 or 3 weeks, GPT-4 it must be really overloaded because it's very slow and doesn't always finish. And this is also probably way more than 500 words. But it looks like it gave us a footnote here. And that links us to the article. So that's cool. That seems right. Yeah, so it's got inline citation sourcing. It only selected one article, but I could go on there and I could say, cite, at least 3 articles or something like that. So that works. So if you use ChatGPT connected to the internet, or if you use Bing, so Bing is GPT-4 connected to the internet. That's why I have that there. It's also free. You have to pay for connectivity to the internet at the official ChatGPT site. You don't have to pay for it with Bing, but it's not as good in my opinion yet. I think it'll get there. It's just not there right now. Have I tried the website Arkinator? Yes. Oh, that's the one. Isn't that the one that it's like 20 questions. It like guesses what you're trying to figure. I think that's that one. It's okay. I think it's been around for a while, actually. Yeah, Arkinator. Yeah, the mind reading genie. Yeah, that's basically just like my guess is it's probably something that's been around since before ChatGPT, and it's really just it's probably using the API call to DaVinci 3, like GPT-3, and it's just a 20 questions game. I mean, that's the other thing you have ChatGPT do is you could have it act as a dungeon master for D&D. You can have it write an action adventure game, like a text-based game, and just have it write the game, like act as if you're a text-based adventure game and start playing the game with it. It's really good at like dramatically more than you think it is. If you're new here, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I babble on about generative AI. Go to these sites if you have not tried ChatGPT. Go there. Go there now. Go have it write you a poem, make you a game, create a table comparing 4 different dog breeds that you're considering. Have it write you some code. What else? What else are the parlor tricks you can do? Have it tell you 4 different screenwriting story frameworks and give you a hybrid of the 4 of them, and then have it write you an outline for a screenplay you've been thinking about for a while. Is it better to subscribe to Poe versus ChatGPT? That's a really good question. Poe's the only thing I know right now that's giving... They seem to have earlier access to the Anthropic, the Claude models, than even Anthropic's putting out there. I pay for both because I'm partial to OpenAI because they're the ones that sort of cracked the nut on this thing first. I think they're pretty far ahead in terms of quality and things like that. So I'm kind of partial to them, but it's really hard to argue that because they're both $20 a month. If you pay Poe $20 a month, they have an app on Android and Apple. They have a website. They have the bot maker, and they have all those different models you can play with. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a strong opinion. I think they're both good, but I don't know. I haven't got access to the beta updates on my ChatGPT. Did you go to your settings and enable them? Because if you didn't go to settings and enable the beta features, they won't be there. But there are some beta features like code interpreter that I don't have access to. So I think OpenAI is just being a little slow about how they're rolling this stuff out. ChatGPT only shows me 404 pages. Then you're probably not at the official ChatGPT. Go chat.openai.com. There are so many fucking scam sites because this thing got so popular. It's possible you're on a scam site. Go to chat.openai.com or go to bing.com and click on the chat button. What are your qualifications? I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 35 years. I started one of the first digital agencies in the mid-90s, and one of the reasons that I started this channel is that the parallels between the early days of the web and the early days of this generative AI stuff are like they're almost identical. Like they're insanely parallel. And I think what's coming with generative AI is way more intense and coming way faster than the World Wide Web stuff came. So just to put it in context, the World Wide Web took 6 years to get to 100 million users. ChatGPT took 6 weeks to get to 100 million users. Like one of the other parallels is the internet had been around for decades, right? But it was primarily used by researchers and scientists and librarians, and it was this very technical thing. And then Tim Berners-Lee creates the World Wide Web, and it kind of opens this door to the rest of the world, right? And what happened, right? The internet is made available to the rest of us, and it changes everything. AI, same thing. It's been around for decades. Google invents this thing called the transformer that allows training on large data sets, and that begins the foundation for GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, right? All these different things. Anthropic, which is a bunch of ex-OpenAI people. And then November of last year, OpenAI launches ChatGPT. and that is the seminal moment. It's this identical moment to the World Wide Web. Like, hey, regular people, go use this. So my interest in this is knowing enough about it to know how the fuck do you use these tools, and how are they going to impact my business and your business and everyone's business, and how are they going to transform jobs. If you look at what ChatGPT can do and you're a copywriter and you're not fucking terrified, there's something wrong with you, right? But at the same time, you should also be incredibly excited, right? So there's this just absolute wild beast of a tool that's in our hands right now that's going to change a lot of things and disrupt a lot of things. So my passion right now is learning as much as I can and then sharing as much as I can to get people curious about it and exploring it, so that you're more you're not at the mercy of what's about to come, because I think it's coming very, very fast. Can you do it on your Android? Because I can find the plugins on my phone. Can you do it on your Android? Well, if you point your web browser on Android to chat.openai.com, that's how you use it. If there's no official OpenAI ChatGPT app, so if you're using ChatGPT apps on Android or on iOS that are not the official OpenAI one, and there's a ton of scam apps out there that are charging you money to just basically probably use GPT-3. So just be really careful. That's why I have these on screen. These are more like a public service announcement than anything. That's where you should be using them. That's where you should be going. And if you want to use the official iOS app, go to openai.com, and there's a link to it on the homepage. There's so many in the App Store, it's really confusing. All their logos look like OpenAI's logo. It's a fucking disaster. All right. I'm going back to see where I was. Can it help me build a business online? Absolutely. But let me get back to that. I'm trying to figure out where I was in the questions. TikTok jumps me to the bottom every now and then because it loves me. It's like, oh, Kyle, this is so awesome. I know you're on that question. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take you to another question. You don't have to ask questions 30 times. I will get to them eventually. I'm just really far behind. Okay. Have you had a chance to check out Hermes' model on GPT-forall? I haven't. So GPT-forall, for those of you that are curious, there's a bunch of open source projects out there and open source large language models. And GPT-forall is a package that will install large language models locally on your laptop or on your PC. And then you can use different models, different open source models. The reason I haven't been playing so much with the open source models is that, literally, a new one comes out every 2 days. And they're pretty big, and you got to install them, and you kind of got to geek out. And GPT-forall helps with that. But I'm just kind of letting I'm going to wait for the dust to settle a bit on the large language models, because at some point one of them is going to be as good as GPT-4, and it's going to be something you can just install on a machine that doesn't have to have a massive GPU. So I'm just kind of waiting on that right now. So I would say if you're geeky and don't mind reinstalling new shit every 3 days, then I would dig in and go play with that, because I bet I'm sure there's really interesting stuff going on there. I just don't have the time for it right now. Best AI plugin to get my paper on Turnitin. I don't know. I don't know what the process would be to get your paper there. I don't know what help you need. Do you need help writing the paper, or marketing the paper, or submitting the paper? I don't quite know what the problem is. Create an AI tool with AI. Exactly. This gets very meta very quick. Yeah, when you have it start programming, you have it start figuring out how to program itself. And there's a thing called autonomous agents. There's one called AutoGPT and one called Baby AGI. Agent GPT, I think, is another one that's got a web front end on it. And they're tools that use ChatGPT to prompt itself to use other tools, right? So you give it a goal, like go find all the weaknesses of my competitors, and it will just it will literally write itself prompts to say, okay, go to Google and find all of the competitors, and then go here and do this, and then analyze that. And so what's coming is pretty insane. Can AI build me a business online? I don't quite know what you mean, but it can certainly, like, what I would start with is tell it what you're good at, what you're interested in. The other thing, so if you go to prompts, some sequencing. If you just say to ChatGPT, "Can you build me a business online?" It'll say, "Of course. Here's a business online." It's going to give you some generic piece of shit. But if you go to, if you start thinking about turning ChatGPT into like a consultant, I'm going to go to prompts.chat and show you what I mean. So prompts.chat is basically just this long list. The top half of this document explains, like, what effective prompt writing is and kind of how it works. And there's some ebooks, and there's free ebooks and paid ebooks and whatever. And then it talks to you about the idea that you can turn ChatGPT into a specific persona. And believe it or not, it actually makes ChatGPT much better. So this is just a big, long list of prompts, like act as a travel guide, act as an advertiser, act as a storyteller, act as a motivational coach, act as a debater. So you could say act as an online business consultant. You could take any one of these prompts here, and there might even be something in here, right, that is in the neighborhood of what you're looking for. But just go to this list and kind of understand this basic concept. And then what I would say is have ChatGPT act as an online business coach, and start to tell it your idea or what your goals are, what your capabilities are. Do you have any money to spend? Because if you have no money to spend on things like advertising, it might give you a marketing plan that says, okay, go buy, $500 worth of ads. And you're sitting there going like, well, I don't have $5 for my ads. So give it context, and then let it teach you how to do that business. And then say, well, what might be 10 ideas? And it'll give you 10 ideas. And then if you don't like any of them, say, no, those are all too whatever. They're too complicated, or they don't excite me. Can you do ones that are more like this? And it'll give you 10 more. And then you can pick 2 of those and say, okay, these 2 I like. Can you give me 20 that are more like that? And it will. And then just start to unpack it. And almost think of it like, peeling the proverbial onion, where you just keep asking it questions and you keep digging deeper with it. And you'll eventually get there. And yeah, it can help you create an online business. Can you explain the workflow of your G-form Zapier open, to auto email? Yes, I can. I'll do that in a second here. Can AI save us from poverty? Very possibly. There's on the poverty question, I heard last week that tech shops in San Francisco that are fully embracing AI, they're seeing 30 to 40% productivity increases. And I think this is something that we're going to see across businesses. And so there's kind of 2 ways that you deal with that, right? If you're a private equity firm, you're like, cut 30 or 40% of the people. That's one option. That's the more dystopian future. The other option is, hey, we're 30 to 40% more productive. Let's increase the quality of our work, or let's, get more clients or whatever. So there's a version of this where prosperity increases. It is up to all of us to find places or to create companies that do the additive version of this, not the subtractive version of this. Okay, so Zapier is what's called an automation tool. There's a bunch of them out there. Zapier is one of the more well-known ones. And let me show you first what the tool that I created does. I'll show you what it does, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I created it. So if you go to contentevolution.net, there's a tool on the homepage called the Challenge Engine. And this is a Google form, and you put in your name and your email, and then you put in your business category, a challenge that you're facing, and then you answer a few questions about the challenge. And then when you submit it, about 30 seconds later, you get back an email. Hang on, let me show you. Gmail. You get back an email that restates the challenge, like cloud tech doesn't always work, and then it gives you sort of a synopsis of what the issue is. And then in I think it's 6 different categories, it gives you 3 strategic questions you should be asking, from a customer perspective, from a brand perspective, from an internal organizational culture perspective, right? So, and then it also does all the HTML formatting. So you notice these are like bold with a red underline, and these are bullet points. So all the HTML formatting was done with GPT as well. So the content itself plus the formatting is done in about 30 seconds, right? So pretty amazing result for not a lot of input. So when you're in Zapier, you create these things called zaps, hence the name. They spell it Zapier, they pronounce it Zapier because technologists, huh? oh, geeks. You're so predictable. All right. So basically what it is this. There's think of it like Lego blocks. And so you start with what's called a trigger. And the trigger is something happens that gets you a piece of data. And then from that piece of data, you can send that piece of data to other things, other Lego blocks to do shit. So the trigger is new response in a Google form. So basically I hook in my Google form, and when someone completes that form, it takes the input of that form and it sends it to the next Lego block, which in this case is let's go write a prompt and send it to OpenAI. And so I've got that one in particular is a long, complicated prompt. This took us a while to figure out, but basically there's a lot of context giving at the top of the prompt, and then you'll notice these boxes here. These are the inputs from the form, right? So this is basically saying take the data from the form and then incorporate it, into the rest of this prompt and send that off to ChatGPT. So this prompt gives us the content. I then take the content that was written, and I have another prompt that does all the HTML formatting. So I take somewhere at the bottom here, down at the bottom, here's the response from the second Lego block, which is the content copy, and then everything up here is the prompt that sort of sets the rules for the HTML. Send that off to OpenAI, and then there's a Lego block for generating an email, and it's an HTML email, and here's all the code that came back from OpenAI with a couple other variables in it. And then that gets sent to the person, and it also creates a row in a spreadsheet. So that's how it works. And the thing about Zapier is it's really wonky. It's really it's unreliable. It's wonky. But you don't need what you need to learn with Zapier is kind of its idiosyncrasies, but you don't need to learn coding, and you don't need to you need to be able to you kind of need to understand enough to be able to say go get an API key from OpenAI and understand what that is. And if you don't quite understand that level of what's an API and what's an API key and where do I get that, that's the kind of thing where you can have ChatGPT maybe act as your tutor to get you up to speed on it. Once you get that basic concept down and the idea that these are like Lego blocks, that you're just passing data from one Lego block to the next, then it's relatively straightforward. And then it comes down to like all these things, it comes down to what's the business problem you're trying to solve, right? What are you trying to do? Who's the audience? What's the problem? What's the solution? That sort of thing. All right. What's with all the typing? I don't know. Someone asked me to do something, so I was typing. And I'm also trying to show people ChatGPT. If you haven't played with ChatGPT, that's the top URL right there, chat.openai.com. This is the AI Learning Lab. So I'm here sharing what I'm learning kind of in real time about generative AI with anyone who wants to listen. Some people want to listen. Some people want to troll. But, that's the game. Some people like comparing me to over-the-hill actors. That's a game, too. Someone asked me once about asparagus. It's TikTok. It's live. What are you going to do? No code here. How do I create a quiz for lead generation that will return profiles? Pretty much like I just showed, right? I would create you would create the quiz in Google Forms. You'd pull that in, and then I think you might take the input of those forms, and what you send back to the person is, here's your score. And then you send the data in a different prompt to OpenAI and say, give me a profile from a lead generation perspective. Is this person, high, medium, or low likelihood to be a good customer for us? And, based on their answers, do they have budget? Do they, so you could do dual analysis. You take one input from the form, and then you send one prompt to OpenAI to get something you send back to them, and another prompt to give you analysis for you. That might be a way to do it. And there's like that example I showed, I'm using 4 modules: Google Forms, OpenAI's GPT-3 API, the Gmail thing, and then Google Sheets. So 5. There are like 5,000 Lego blocks in Zapier to play with. So yeah. Anyway, I actually deserve an A for the elegance of my prompts. Awesome. If you're, I feel like we're entering the revenge of the liberal arts major, where if you're good with words and if you're good with broad concepts, you tend to be pretty good at prompting, because it's very much akin to, if someone hired a really capable intern and sat them in your office, could you tell them what to do to give you what you need? It's kind of like that. Try putting something over the glowing keys so I don't focus on them. Oh, all right. That seems like a minor. I can just turn them down. Wait, they took it off. No, I can't. I don't care. Sorry about that. You're just gonna have to focus on them. I'm trying all sorts of things. I've now got my laptop essentially above eye level so that the camera isn't shooting up my nostrils, because I've been getting trolls talking about my nose hairs and that I should have my thyroid checked. So I'm trying to cut that down. But what it does is now it makes the keyboard a bigger part of the situation. Listen, people. There's just what do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want? I'm just trying to help. I'm a simple man from a simple country with simple goals, a fat dog, and a family. All right. We've always got to ask it to provide references, as it's pretty good at being wrong. Yeah, I like to describe ChatGPT as mansplaining as a service. It will confidently answer you, even if it's wrong. Like every good man, What color is AI? Let's go ask ChatGPT that one. That's a good question. And watch my giant typing while watch my huge hands distractingly type away. But I think that's a really good question. I want you to act as a philosophical hippie. What color is AI? Question mark. Let's see where this takes us. This should be good. Far out, man. Well, getting into the cosmic soup of existence, aren't you? AI doesn't have a color in the physical sense, right? It's not something you can touch or see. Let's see. AI could be seen as a color of potential. It's like a canvas that's eternally white, always ready to be painted with new ideas, new thoughts, new possibilities, like a kaleidoscope, man. Always changing and shifting, reflecting on the colors of human thought, emotion, and aspiration. But if it could be seen as a color of mystery, a deep and inscrutable black, so it's given us white, black. In the end, the color of AI is the color of your perception. It's a mirror that reflects your own understanding and vision back to you. It's all the colors and none of them at the same time. This is fucking brilliant. That is the right answer. That's the right answer. So there you go. It is all of the colors and none of them all at once. It's whatever you perceive it to be. It's life, man. Yeah, man. All right. Keep asking questions. Oh, it looks like we got some new people here. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. These URLs I have up here are just kind of a public service announcement. If you've not played with ChatGPT and generative AI, chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT website. They're kind of the king of the mountain right now. Bing.com, the next one down, that's Microsoft's search engine that used ChatGPT as their core chatbot. So if you go to Bing.com and click on chat, that's GPT-4 connected to the internet for free. And then Poe.com lets you play with a lot of different models and you can make your own chatbots and things like that. So that's what those are there for. The other two are just resources that I think are also valuable. I'm not connected with any of that shit in any way. I swear, I make jokes, I make faces. I don't know. My dog barks. I'm just a dude sitting in his home office trying to talk about AI in a way that demystifies it and gets people curious about it. That's the purpose of this. Can I demo any AI app where you upload a pic of yourself and then create cool enhancements to it? Yeah, I can do that. I'll hop over to Midjourney and show you that. Can AI help me build a business online? We already answered that. Okay, so let's go to Midjourney. Okay, Midjourney. Good Lord, where do you start? One of the challenges with these lives is people that have been here before, I keep re-explaining the same thing over and over again. But if you're new here, I can't presume that you know any of this stuff. So for those that have been here before, sorry about that. Let me just explain a little bit. If you go to midjourney.com and you click on try the beta, so for image generation tools, there's Midjourney, there's Stable Diffusion, there's DALL-E, there's Adobe Firefly, there's now generative AI within Photoshop. You have a lot of different options. In my opinion, right now, for like the state of the art today, Midjourney is the highest quality images. Adobe Firefly and generative fill within Photoshop are commercially safe. So Midjourney's been trained on lots of copywritten images, and if you use that for commercial work, you're potentially opening yourself up for issues down the line. Like if you're a big company, probably don't do it. Your lawyers won't be happy with you. Use the Adobe stuff. But the Adobe stuff's not as good quality-wise. So what I'm going to show you right now is Midjourney, which I think is the best one. When you click on try the beta, it takes you over to Discord, which if you've never been on Discord, you're lucky. It's just like Slack, if you know what Slack is. It's basically a threaded conversation. The way it works is down the left-hand side here, you've got, these are all your different servers. So these are all the different communities that I'm a part of or that I've installed, but I'm too lazy to get rid of. And then the next column down, these are the channels, right? So these are like the groups where you have conversations. So I'm in one right now for the AI Salon, which is a community that I started. And we have a channel in here called Midjourney Play. So we can actually make some stuff with Midjourney. So the way you create an image in general is you say /imagine, and then when you say /imagine, it pops open a prompt, and you say, let's say, photo of a terrifying thunder storm over the Rocky Mountains, Ansel, we'll say by Ansel Adams. And I'm going to do black and white photo, BW photo, and then I'm going to do comma, or not comma, I'll go dash dash AR, which stands for aspect ratio, 16:9, and I'll just hit that. And then it's going to go off and make the image. And if you're sitting there thinking, why are you typing like image commands to generate, like, why are you typing like command line interface to generate images? Because that's where it is right now. You have to, with Midjourney, you have to do things within Discord. But so there's a way to do this. There's another way to do what you're talking about in Stable Diffusion. There's one thing called Dream Booth. There's another thing called ControlNet. I'm just showing you a version of this within Midjourney, but it's relatively straightforward. So let me go find an image here that might be good. 512. All right. So there's an image. There's an image from my hard drive, and I'm just going to drag that into the little prompting area for Midjourney, and then I'm going to hit return. And what that's going to do is that uploaded that image. And so now what I can do is I can right click on the image, or I'm on a Mac, so I control click it, and I say copy the link. So I'm going to copy the URL to that image. And now I go back into my little word box there, and I type in /imagine, right? So we're back to the /imagine thing. And rather than starting to write my prompt, I paste in that URL, and then I write my prompt. And I'm going to say medieval knight in shining armor. You can also feed your ego with this, but it also backfires sometimes. On a white horse after a hard battle. And then I'm going to do dash dash AR dash 16:9, and they're going to go do that. And so now it's going to take that image. And so sometimes it's really flattering what it does, and then there's other times where it's like, did you know you were 450 pounds? No matter what you type, you're always going to be 450 pounds. So here's this. I did this prompt of Ansel Adams images, terrifying thunderstorm over the Rockies. These are pretty good. Yeah, those are pretty terrifying. So it's, if you've not used Midjourney, it's like the quality of it's just stupid insane. We'll go back over here to Midjourney and see if the horses are coming. It doesn't look like I'm in battle. It doesn't look medieval. It looks like I'm in an office. Oh, it looks like what it did was it took the like I'm in an office here with glass windows, so it looks like it took that. Look, there's me with a big giant breastplate. So anyway, these are coming. So that's a way to do it. There's lots of ways to do it. I would go watch YouTube videos on Stable Diffusion Dream Booth and Stable Diffusion ControlNet, and then the blend the blend option in Midjourney. There's lots of different ways to do it. It's like I brought my horse inside the office after a long battle. I got blood on my face and a horse behind me, but I'm in an office. It's pretty good. All right. AI. Sometimes it's about the comedy. There are so many new plugins for citations, sometimes more reliable than official browsing. Yeah, I'm finding myself, like, even if I know ChatGPT is going to take longer, I'm finding myself not going to Google, not going to internet search anymore. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this, but it's like, I would rather wait 30 seconds for a reply than get back an instant reply with like 40 links, 25 of which are just marketing spam, SEO injected bullshit. Just, I'll wait for the answer. And then like, sometimes it'll give me like a citation and I'm like, oh, let me see if that's real. It sounds plausible. Let me click on it. Oh, no, that was bullshit. Okay. So you have to pay attention. There was a lawyer this past week that had ChatGPT write his legal brief and handed it to a fucking judge without proofreading it. And the judge was like, hey, these citations are bullshit. So proof your work. Anthropic Claude is not bad either, but ultimately ChatGPT is the best of them. I'm with you, Glensky. It's like I feel like they're the ones that cracked the nut first. They cracked the nut with GPT-3, and that was starting to get some decent awareness, and then with ChatGPT and the Microsoft investment and things like that, I feel like they've just got a head start on everyone. I think it's the best right now. OpenAI Premium versus ChatGPT. Well, it's the same thing. Okay, so OpenAI is the company, ChatGPT is the tool. ChatGPT Plus is the paid version of the tool that you see at that website, chat.openai.com. Why I think it's worth paying for it for me is it gives me access to ChatGPT connected to the internet, and it gives me access to plugins, and it's going to give me access to Code Interpreter hopefully really soon, because Code Interpreter, if you think all this shit is amazing and mind-blowing, Code Interpreter takes it to a whole nother level. And that's just like another flavor. So that's why I'm sticking with that. But OpenAI is the company. GPT 3.5, and 4 are the basic base models. ChatGPT is an application that sits on top of those base models. So is Copy.ai, so is Jasper. So there's a lot of, this is really confusing. There's kind of the base model that's the underlying engine. And then there's basically the application layer. ChatGPT is just an application. It was written in 2 weeks, and it was just kind of tossed together and put out there to coincide with the Microsoft announcement of the first $1 billion investment. And then 100 million people started using it. So it changed everything, but it's really just an app sitting on top of these base layers. And there's lots of other ones out there. In fact, if you go to futurepedia.io, that is just chock full of companies that are building applications on top of these base layers. New job, prompt engineer. Yeah, there was a pretty famous, kind of the first one that was, oh yeah, hanging out there, baby. One of the first listing for a prompt engineer, it was like a $330,000 salary. I don't think they're going to be that pricey for that long, but we're entering weird times. So depending on if corporations and CEOs start to panic and they're like, we need to solve this AI thing pronto. Who knows how to write a prompt? Jane wrote a Christmas card with ChatGPT once. Jane's the VP of AI. Put her in there now. We might start seeing some weird shit with salaries. So again, what I would say is, and why this channel exists, learn that stuff. It looks like we got some new folks here. Hello, my name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm losing my voice, apparently. I'll answer your questions about AI. I'm very behind. I have 99 new messages, and I'm trying to go one by one through the questions. So if it seems like I'm ignoring you, that's because I haven't gotten to you yet. Feel free to troll me. Other people do. No, my trolls here are actually pretty nice. They usually just say I look like a fat, washed-up movie star. My favorite one was, I was scrolling through TikTok and I thought it was Alec Baldwin, but fat. You look like Rosie O'Donnell. Can I build... Okay, we said that one. What's Poe? Poe is just a site like ChatGPT, but it gives you access to a lot of different models, a lot of different ChatGPTs, basically. So there's Claude Plus, Claude Instant 100K, which is really remarkable. Claude Instant, ChatGPT, and then there's a bunch of bots. And the bots are just sort of like pre-prompted ChatGPTs. So I made one called I Am Shakespeare. So if you go to po.com/I Am Shakespeare, it will only respond in iambic pentameter, which if you're a Shakespeare geek is awesome fun. But if you're a human being, it's stupid. All right. I need AI to look at a photo of an actual person and modify that pic based on the prompts. That's what I just showed you. If so, there's a couple of different things there. There's generative fill within Photoshop, so you could sort of highlight the person and then inverse your selection and have it fill in the background, just change the background. So that's a way you could do it. Look at Stable Diffusion. ControlNet is another way, but you're gonna need to really geek out for that. A lot of these tools right now, because we're so early in this, a lot of the tools require a fair amount of geeking out. So you need to sort of figure out where you are on the how comfortable am I going to GitHub and firing up a repository. And if what I just said makes no sense, then you know where you are. If you know what that is and you're comfortable doing that, then you can go start playing with things like Stable Diffusion and ControlNet. If it sounds like I'm an insane person, because I am, then you might want to like play in Photoshop or things like that, or the example I just showed in Midjourney. Do I have a YouTube channel? I should. Not really. I did when we went into COVID lockdown, I did a daily diary. My current company, I'm the CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is a video storytelling platform. So I used our platform to do a daily video of what it was like to be an extrovert, locked into my office for a year. I did a video every day for a year, and I think maybe I got 65 subscribers or followers for that. And so I don't know. So I just haven't done it. I don't know why it would be better, but I'm willing to put it anywhere. I just find TikTok they've given me an audience, and I don't know. This is not my primary business, so I'm just kind of doing this for shits and grins. Wait, can ChatGPT write better prompts for me? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, there's a plugin for ChatGPT called Prompt Perfect, which will do it for you. I'm going to go New Chat, and then I'm going to go GPT-4. I'm going to go to Plugins. If you haven't seen plugins, this is how they work. You can activate up to 3. I've got 3 travel ones turned on right now, so I'm going to turn those off. And I'm going to turn on Prompt Perfect. And so what happens with Prompt Perfect is... Did someone just give me a hat? Thank you for the hat. What happens with Prompt Perfect? You type the word perfect before your prompt, and then you type your prompt. Please... Oh, and if you find yourself saying please and thank you to ChatGPT, that's normal. You're not crazy. Please write me a blog post on why generative AI AI will save humanity rather than destroy it. So I typed that in, and because I put the word perfect in front of it, it's now going to fire off that plugin, and it's going to rewrite it for me. And so I can open it up and go look what it did. So you heard what I wrote, and then it rephrased it as, could you compose a comprehensive and well-researched blog post that explains generative artificial intelligence has the potential to be a positive force for humanity rather than a destructive one. Please include specific examples and evidence to support your argument. And then it writes it. So yeah, you can absolutely use it's a good way to think about ChatGPT as, rather than think of it like, and again, I feel like Google has trained us, or is it brainwashed us? I feel like Google has trained us that you're supposed to write really concise little search instructions and just sit back and wait for the perfect answer. And ChatGPT is much more, think of it like step-by-step problem solving, where you're telling it to do something and then you say, no, make it better, expand that, help me rewrite this prompt. And it's kind of this series of back and forth conversations that lead to better quality content. Hey everybody, my name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. The URLs here are for essentially for ChatGPT. The top one is the most important one, in my opinion. That's the official ChatGPT website. If you've not played with ChatGPT, go do it now. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is a video storytelling platform, an automated video storytelling platform. We've been around for 11 years. We're only just now adding AI into the system. We figured out other ways to automate video production than AI, but that's going to change everything. The purpose here is really just to talk about all these new generative AI tools, answer any questions I can, demystify it, get people curious, get people playing, and yeah, that's why I'm here. Will it generate more poverty? It's possible it'll generate more prosperity. I think long term, AI is going to generate a fuck ton more prosperity. I think short term, there's going to be some really significant disruptions. I think a lot of jobs are going to be either displaced or completely transformed, and so there's going to be a lot of upheaval and disruption. So I think the next two to 3 years is going to be pretty intense, just with the amount of change. And you know, we're humans, and while we want progress, we don't want to go through the change. We resist change. I have this instinct that AI, the generative AI stuff that's coming is going to have a similar kind of impact to COVID, where it's just gonna force some shit to change, and then, you know, hopefully on the other side of it, there's a lot more prosperity. How do you apply AI to interactive intelligence solutions? I don't know what interactive intelligence solutions are, but I'm happy to field that. Wait, ChatGPT can tell us that. Ignore them. What did you say? Interactive intelligence solutions. I'm going to do 3.5 because it's faster. What are interactive intelligence solutions? A wide range of technologies. Oh, natural language processing, machine learning. Well, I mean, like in so many ways. So it's going to be able to code. It's going to be able to, like if you look at, if you haven't, go search for code interpreter on YouTube and just watch some YouTube videos about what code interpreter does. You're going to be able to use generative AI to augment improvements of all the machine learning stuff. Like you're seeing it right now with the open source community. They're taking relatively weak large language models, and they're using GPT-4 to do all the what would have been human training to make these things strong. They're using GPT models to do that. So the AI is actually starting to train itself. And there's a decently famous leak from a Google employee called "We Have No Moat," and what he's talking about in that statement is that he doesn't feel like they have a competitive advantage with these large language models because the open source community is spending like $100 and they're creating models that are almost as strong as what Google took $10 million to train. So yeah, not only do I think that it can be applied to that stuff, it's being applied to it right now, and I think that's going to continue. I think we're starting to hit an acceleration point of innovation where, like, if you're paying attention to this stuff, it's impossible to comprehend on a weekly basis the amount of, you know, technical innovations that are coming, and it's going to continue to accelerate for probably a long time, like probably a decade or two or three, or like, you know, until we hit Shangri-La or we melt the planet. It's like, hopefully we're somewhere in the middle. You know? All right, ChatGPT only shows me articles on paywall pages when I ask for a source for the blog post. I know listen, the whole, you know, don't forget we're very, very early with this stuff. So right now there's not a lot. There's almost no sophistication in terms of these tools being aware of what they presented to you. They're probability engines that are literally just saying what's the highest likelihood of each next word being the right word. And it sort of types all those words and puts that shit out there. And then as humans, we read it and we're like, oh, that seems really plausible. And they're like, you lied to me. Why did you lie to me, ChatGPT? That doesn't seem fair at all. A nice person wouldn't do that. Because it's not actually aware of what it typed or what citation it gave you. Or is it behind a paywall or not? Give it a year or two. That's a company that could be started right now. It probably is being started right now. Is a company that, just analyzes, citations and references that these large language models put out and vets them, right? So that'll be a plugin of a plugin. So just be patient with it. It'll get there. All right. So then everything's okay. I don't know if everything's okay, but easiest site to generate photos. Easiest site. I would say the easiest is probably Adobe Firefly. Leonardo.ai is pretty good. Quality-wise, Midjourney's the best. The hardest one is Stable Diffusion, but it's got the most developers behind it because it's open source. Please create a YouTube channel. We need how-to vids, please. Yeah, I was thinking I might do what are they called? Like Zoom workshops where it's kind of an open-ended, teach you how to do stuff. So I gotta figure out my time management. Is there a free way to access GPT-4 yet? Yes, the Bing.com. Bing.com. So when you go to Bing.com, you get that giant search engine that says "Ask me anything," and then there's this chat button. And if you click the chat button, that is GPT-4, and you can even choose 3 different options: more precise, more balanced, more creative. So if you know anything about Chat GPT's backend, there's this thing called temperature where you can make it more creative or more precise. That's what that is. So this is GPT-4. It's connected to the internet and it's free. So the answer is yes. Welcome to the future, provided by Microsoft. Hi, I'm Bing. This is GPT-4, but we're not calling it that. We're calling it Copilot. Why? Because you're the pilot and we're not. We're the co-pilot. We like your data. Your data's tasty. Give us more. Tell us what you really think. All right. Oh, TikTok just jumped me to the bottom again. All right, I need to go soon anyway. I have a lovely pork roast in the oven, or a pork loin. Rather. Girded her loins, I see. Oh, you're cool, bro. Thank you. Oh. If you just came in and saw me do that, and your question is he fucking crazy? Possible. It's very likely. But I do try my best to be entertaining and educational at the same time. We like to call that edutainment. All right. You can tell when I start getting like this. I'm a little punchy. Hi, Liz. Is Zapier a self-built HubSpot? Sort of. HubSpot's more specific to marketing automation, but you can recreate a lot of the stuff in HubSpot with Zapier, yes. But you can do other shit too. It doesn't just have to be marketing. You could create things for, say, I don't know, chemical analysis. Why did I respond like that? I have no idea. The pork is smelling good though. I think I'm getting a little hangry. All right. I don't know. I'm lost in the question, so if I missed your question, I apologize. So we are gods now because we give AI meaning. I mean, it's not a bad thought. I don't know if we're gods, but I feel like My experience with these tools is that they are definitely humanity amplifiers. And so, and that's both good and bad, right? Because humanity's complicated, but it like, these tools take your intent and really, really quickly get you to a level of execution that historically would have taken you a week or a month or you never would have done. And it kind of does it in 30 seconds. And then you can keep iterating on that, and you can just kind of live at a higher level of creative expression. So I don't know. This is quite profound stuff. It can't do recent 2023 market research for you, but it can help come up with tactics. That's not true anymore, House Bat Vintage. That's a good name. Because it's connected to the internet now. So if we go back to ChatGPT, you can make money with ChatGPT. If we go back here and we go to browse with Bing, so now I can say, please give me a table of monthly, prices and returns from the major stock indexes in the U.S. And it should go out to the web, find me some recent data. Oh, I didn't give it a time frame. Let me stop it for a second. Let me copy this. Copy in the U.S. for the 2023. So it goes out and it's browsing the web. Let's see where it's browsing. DGIA. It's reading the content. It's thinking. Now it's searching for S&P. I went back to that site. Statistica. Or Statista. Now it's doing S&P historical prices by month. So it's off searching the internet right now. We'll see if it gives us a table. Now it's doing NASDAQ composite. So it's kind of figured some shit out here. But anyway, yeah, if you paid the $20 a month or if you use Bing, it's connected to the internet. How do I keep my requests private? I'll show you that in a second. Let's let this thing finish up. I've collected monthly prices for some of the major U.S. stock indexes. Oh, it didn't put them in a table. Here's the data. Well, let's see if it does it in the table. So I don't know if these are right. January 34,000 for the Dow Jones. May 32,900. S&P 500, NASDAQ. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find complete monthly data for the NASDAQ composite. I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to say, can you put these in a table? Sure, here's the table. Boom. So, because it's connected to the internet now, you can start to do some interesting stuff. Now, again, it's not checking any of this, so it might be getting these numbers wrong. It's only as good as whatever site it went and looked at, and if that site had bogus data or shitty data, then it's gonna be shitty as well. But this is like it's almost like I kind of feel like you should almost look at all of these tools right now of like, imagine what these will do when they don't suck, when the tech doesn't suck, right? Because it's remarkable what it does. It's just it doesn't have a lot of the checks and balances that a sophisticated piece of software would. So in order to not have your data shared with OpenAI and be vulnerable because you're storing your prompts out in the open, the first thing that you should do is export your data, because when you do what I'm about to tell you, it's going to delete all of your prompt history. So export it first, And then where it says chat history and training, you turn that off. I've got mine on because I'm not doing anything particularly proprietary and I want my chat history. But you can turn that off, and that helps. And then OpenAI is also creating a business version of ChatGPT, where I'm sure you'll have much better data and privacy tools. All right. The better the prompt you feed it, the better the output. Yep, absolutely. We have to get great at articulating vision. Well, you have to get great right now because the tools are raw, but the tools are going to start prompting themselves. So I don't think you're going to need to. I think getting good at prompt engineering right now is the equivalent of learning math at the dawn of the calculator, right? Like, yeah, you need to learn it. You need to understand the basic concepts of it. But we have this calculator thing now. It kind of does the shit. Did I say what areas specifically they're seeing productivity increases? It was Jason Calacanis's All In Pod. They were talking about like tech companies in San Francisco are seeing 30 to 40% engineering productivity increases. You may have covered this already, but is Web 10 the best at generating an entire website? I have no idea. The specific tools like website generating things, I'm not paying attention to. That's why I put futurepedia.io up here, because it's there's just a lot of tools there. I can't keep up with it. I've purposefully kind of locked myself down to chat.openai.com, po.com, and then the image generation tools, because there's so much to explore just in those that I'm overwhelmed. Like just the plugins alone, just getting my head around how plugins worked, what they are, and which ones are bullshit or not, was like a week. And it's I don't know. It's very overwhelming right now. AI is not the platform, but humanity is. I actually like that line a lot. I think that's very right. AI is a tool. AI is a tool. It's a shovel. It's a tractor. It's a printing press, right? It's a tool that we get to use. Humanity is the platform. Sorry, I read it wrong. You said humanity. AI is not the problem. Humanity is. I read AI is not the platform, but humanity is. I think both statements are true. Humanity's a shit show. We're in such a destructive, toxic state right now. I have very deep hopes and desires that AI will actually help us return to our humanity, because it's going to automate out the low-level shitty work that crushes all of our souls and has everyone so angry. But it's not going to do that overnight. I think that's more like 5 to 10 years. And so that means the next 5 years are going to be uglier. I'm so frustrated right now at our country and the world, quite frankly. It's like, just don't be assholes. Like, how hard is that? Apparently, quite. Naming things is hard. Naming things with ChatGPT is not hard. If you give ChatGPT, here's what I'm, here are the criteria, here's the brand, here's what I'm thinking about. And especially if you give it an example or two, tell it to give you 20 names and then just keep iterating. Pick the top 5, give it those 5, say, I like these, give me 20 more, give me 20 more, give me 20 more. You can, I've had some really good luck with naming stuff very, very quickly and very well. You have to iterate, but like with all the things, think of it like this. Try not to have the expectation that ChatGPT is going to give you 100% result ever. Think of it like, if you get your prompting good, you can get to maybe 80%, 90% if you're killing it, and then it's up to you to finish it. That's been my experience, and when I get good at it, what I find is I can get to 80% within 5 minutes pretty consistently, and that saves me the 2 hours it would have taken to get to that 80% anyway, and then I can just be at this higher level refinement creative rather than blocking and tackling. What AI app environment do you spend most of your time using? ChatGPT. That's why that's there. That's why it's number 1. You need to understand your process. Can you clip this or make a video? I don't know. You could record your phone. I don't know why you'd want to. This is just like an ADD, fever dream. But if you want to, if you want to record it, I suppose you could. I haven't thought about it. I guess I could. I don't know. Then I'd have to deal with the like just everything generates more fucking work. I think that's why I'm liking these lives. I can just turn them on and bam, ramble. Oh, there's a lot of folks here. I appreciate you sticking around. I'm sorry for your loss, but it's Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Sunday. It stopped raining here. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. If you're feeling like I'm behind on questions, that's because I'm behind on questions. I know this is probably related, but how do you make a picture in picture? You would just do that in Photoshop. How do I make this picture in picture? That's just when you go live, there's an option called dual cameras, and it basically just turns on the back camera and the front camera at the same time. And that's just my laptop out there. So it looks fancy, but it's actually, I've got a helmet box and my laptop sitting on top of it, and then I got two cardboard boxes with a light on it. It's not all that sophisticated. Here, you want to see? Studio here, huh? There's that. And boxes with a light. Nice. It seems so professional. Why does he talk like that? We don't know. Nobody knows. Doesn't he look like Rosie O'Donnell? A little bit, yeah. All right. Oh, light. Hang on. Gotta get my light. What'd you spend your Sunday afternoon doing? I don't know. There was this guy. He seemed mentally challenged, but I learned some things. Do you think the free Gen AI pathway training on Google... Oh, I just did the free Gen AI pathway training on Google, and I can finally understand you. Oh, that's really cool, Lily. That's awesome. Yeah, I think... So a couple of things. So Google just did that training there. I think it is good to understand how these tools work, because it's really easy to have misconceptions that they're copying and pasting and they're stealing people's work and the robots are doing this. It's not like that. It's a bit more pedestrian. Even though they're remarkably powerful, it's actually fairly straightforward. And if you understand that, it like takes this AI shit off the pedestal, right? Like, these are just tools, right? They're just tools. So that's awesome that you took that. OpenAI also just did one on prompting, how to get better results with prompting. And that looks pretty good. Bard is a dud. I agree with that. Google invented this shit, and they are way behind. They're getting their asses handed to them. I tried using ChatGPT to write a script to dump output into a Google Sheet. That's cool. That's a cool use case. Yeah, if you it's really good if you're one of the people like me that kind of understands what spreadsheets are, but like I don't know formulas and how to do anything in spreadsheets. Just go to ChatGPT and say, "I'm trying to do this. Can you please write me that formula?" It will. I ended up having to download Python 3. Never did get the script to work. You can also... So when I first did my first Python application, and I told ChatGPT I didn't know how to run it, it said, download Python. And I said, I don't want to download Python. Can you give me a website where I can run the Python in the website? And it gave me like 3 of them. So just tell it you want to do it. You want to run your Python code on a website if you just want to dick around with it. Because otherwise you're like installing things. You have to go to the terminal. Ugh. I find it exhausting. What do we want? What do we want paid for? Yeah, don't see. Okay. Trying to find a question. Okay. What's that say? Which AI answers questions with graphs and diagrams? So I haven't played with these a lot, but there are in the OpenAI plugins, there are 2 that I've got installed that I haven't really played with. One's called Show Me. Called, I thought I had another one installed. Diagram. Diagr.am. And then if we go to the plugin store, let's type in, let's see, graph. Diagram, image search, golden, current, no. Let's see, visual. This one's called Notable. Create notebooks in Python, SQL, and Markdown to explore data, visualize, and share notebooks. I don't know. I would just go to the plugins and start exploring. But those two that I described are pretty good. What are they called again? Diagram and Show Me. But again, like, give it a week or two, and all this stuff will be handled. Like, just new tools will come out. Is there a way to integrate AI into a Mac, make it a bit like Jarvis? Yeah, check out GPT-forall. If you're on an M1 Mac, that helps. A lot of the developers are developing the local large language models for Apple Silicon. So M1s or higher, M1s, M2s. If you're on an Intel Mac, I'm sure there's something you can do there, but it's probably going to be pretty slow, and there's probably not going to be a lot of support. But go look up GPT-forall, and then just go to YouTube and search for open source large language model. Ba, 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 ba. You're on a horse in an office. Your poor coworkers. Oh man, I'm so far behind on questions. I have to go actually because I have to go make dinner. It's time for dinner. I don't use Google to search for much anymore, unless on my phone. I'm the same way. Even on my phone, I turned chat.openai into a button on my phone, and I have it on the bottom four. It's like one of my main buttons. And I'll just go there. If it's anything at all, like I need an answer to this, I don't go to Google anymore at all. It's gotta be killing them, because there's not I don't know a way out of it for them. How do you create a business strategy on GPT? Go to GPT, tell it to be a business consultant, and have it ask you questions about your business in a way that it gives it enough information to help you develop a strategy, and then just start answering its questions. You can even do a thing like, I want you to ask me a series of questions about my business that will give you enough information to help me create a strategy. I want you to ask the questions one by one, and don't move on to the next question until I've told you, okay, move on, or something like that. And it will literally start acting like a business consultant, walking you through the process. Does paying for it keep your information and prompts private? No. They're creating a business version of ChatGPT that might, but not right now. You can disable, if you go to data controls, you can disable them using your data for training, and you can disable your chat history, your prompt history, but it will delete your entire prompt history. So that's why I haven't done it yet. But the $60 a month plan does. I assume that's for Midjourney. You're cool, bro. Thanks, Fatty Boom Butts. Good name. ChatGPT-4 emails my students. Wait, ChatGPT-4 emails to my students' parents. What prompt preface can I use to make them less formal? Just tell it to be less formal. So if it gives you something that's really formal, say, you can even sort of berate it a bit, and you can say, oh, that was way too formal. Can you make it more conversational? Even better than that, take an email that you've written that is in your exact tone of voice. You're like, yeah, that's the perfect example. And say, based on this email, paste your email in there. Please write an email to this parent saying that their kid was an asshole in school, bang, and follow that one as an example, and it will copy your tone. But you can also just give it feedback. That was make me sound smarter, make it more relaxed, make it more conversational. I only know ChatGPT. Just keep digging. I mean, listen, only know ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the most remarkable tool in the history of humanity. Like, if you only know Chat, I could take the next decade at the current level of ChatGPT's sophistication and probably not even begin to scratch the edges of what it makes possible. So don't feel like I only know ChatGPT is like a bad thing. Like, it's a remarkable tool that use it. You do any FPGA development? I don't know what the fuck that is. Let's go find out. ChatGPT can make you less stupid. Here we come to save the day. What is FPGA? FPGA. Stands for field. It's a little slow. Programmable logic blocks wired together. Okay, so this is like controller kind of stuff, I'm guessing. And what's the question? I don't do any of that. No, I assume like Arduino kind of crap is sort of on the edges of that. But I don't. But this can help you do all that stuff. It can write the code. It can probably design circuits. GPT-4, when they fully roll it out, is multimodal, meaning it can see, it can understand images. So I'm sure you're going to be able to upload like circuit diagrams, and it will be able to understand them. I mean, this shit's coming. It's coming quick. I wish the multimodal thing were here, but it's not. It's just like listen, they're kind of flying the plane as they're building it here. Your feed freezes for a few seconds every time you switch camera angles. Oh, please pause. I knew that. Sorry about that. I'll try to remember that. I'm thinking about starting a TikTok channel on main historical sites. Yeah, awesome. And have ChatGPT give you, here's the 3 or 4 bullet talking points, or here's your script if you like things more scripted, about each of those sites. Or have it give you like you could have it give you like what would be a good order starting with the most popular to the most obscure, or vice versa, things like that. Being able to replay these vids would be amazing. Sorry about that. We have a beautiful stay with lots of lighthouses and great landmarks. Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. Like, yeah, I would encourage you to start a TikTok channel. As a 58-year-old that started a TikTok channel because I'm a fucking idiot, why not? I have a decent amount of followers now, and people seem to hang out in these lives and enjoy them. I'm going to come back. I'll come back later, but let me take off. I know I didn't get to a bunch of questions, but thanks for hanging out with me. Let me go help my son work on the pork loin. Let's gird the loins, people. And I'll be back later. And peace, everybody. I hope this helped. I hope it was fun. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Give a thumbs up. Go follow me if you like these. Subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you in a bit.